Good morning and good Wednesday morning. Here we are halfway through the week, and we're going to get another dose of God's Word to hopefully make our day a whole lot better. This morning we'll look at a few verses back in the Old Testament book of Proverbs, book of wisdom as it's called sometimes. And it indeed does give a lot of wisdom for us to get through this life, to get through each day, and help us and give us the information really to kind of have the best life that we can live as we're passing through. It gives us the do's and the don'ts, if you will. A lot of times it tells us if you do this, well, this is what you can expect. So that's why it's called the book of wisdom. In Proverbs, the 8th chapter, the writer Solomon, he makes this observation. He makes this statement. He says, verse 32 of Proverbs chapter 8, he says, "Now therefore, listen to me, my children. For blessed are those who keep my ways." Now, this is wisdom speaking, but all wisdom comes from God. So this is God speaking here. All right. So he said, listen to me. Do you want a blessed life? Many times we talk about blessings, we're talking about a lot of things in monetary means, but that's not what he's talking about. The greatest blessing, one of the greatest blessings, not the greatest, but one of the greatest blessings that we can have as we pass through this life is not having a care in the world, is being able to lay down each night on our pillow and not lying awake worrying about choices that we've made, what's going to happen, how am I going to do this and how am I going to do that, somebody going to come looking for me, and so on and so forth. That's one of the greatest blessings that we can have in life. And we have that blessing when we listen and do the things that God tells us of how to live our life. He says, verse 33, "Hear instruction and be wise, and do not disdain it." We as parents, sometimes we give counsel, advice to our kids because we want them to have a peaceful life. We don't want them to have lives that's full of drama and struggle and so on and so forth. And so many times, the common, couple of common phrases, people say, "Don't judge me," or "You do you and I'll do me." That's disdaining counsel. And how's that working for you? God has given us the wisdom that we need each day to make good choices. And when we disdain that, when we ignore that, but just look in the mirror and you can see it's not working out real well. Why? Because we're making the wrong choices. He says, verse 34 says, "Blessed is the man who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who sins against me wrongs his own soul. All those who hate me love death." My friend, here's the answer to your day to day. Right? If you want your day to day to be good and smooth, here's the answer. God's given us the answers. He's given us the advice. He's given us the counsel. But it comes back, what am I going to do with it? And when we disdain it, like I said just a few moments, all we got to do is look in the mirror and say, "Well, why is my life a mess?" Well, it's because of me. So many times we are our own worst enemy. And so here's wisdom crying out, "Hey, all you got to do is listen to me. All you got to do." You think about how fun is it being broke? It amazes me, but it also saddens me as well. Of those that are out there in the world, they won't listen to any advice. They're going to do things their way, but they're always broke. They're broke. They're spending it on tattoos. They're spending it on piercings. They're spending it on cigarettes. They're spending it on alcohol. And it's always a struggle. Car breaks down. They ain't got no money to fix it. They ain't got no gas money. They never have anything to fall back on. These are just illustrations. And all those things, God's word tells us don't do that kind of stuff. And so here we have what's the problem? I'm not listening to God. I'm not taking his wisdom. We're not taking his advice. That's why my life, could be why it is. And so here he said, blessed is the man who listens to me. Troubled is the man that doesn't. You see, blessed is the man who listens to me. And the flip side of that is troubled is the man who doesn't. One that's always watching. I want to know. I want to make the right choices. I want to inquire. I want to ask people questions because I want to do the right thing. That's the idea. I don't want to make stupid mistakes. I don't want to be in a struggle. I don't want to be broke all the time. I don't want to be, I can never get ahead. I never have anything to fall back on, so to speak. Why? Well, because I'm probably living a life that takes all my money. I'm probably living a life that's causing me to have heartaches and struggles and drama and all these types of things. But again, he says, blessed is the man who listens to me. There's the answer. The answer isn't more of the same. The answer is more of God's wisdom and counsel. He says in verse 35, whoever finds me finds life. Whoever finds me, wisdom says, whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. So many times, and we think, oh, I don't want to go to church. I don't want to follow God. I don't want to do that. I believe in Him, but I just, that life is boring and so on, and so forth. Well, how fun is the life that you're living now? And turmoil and poverty and so on. How is that? How fun is that? It's like he says in verse 36, but he who sins against me, in other words, the one that disdains my counsel, the only person you're hurting is yourself. He goes on, he who sins against me wrongs his own soul. All those who hate me love death. My friend, if your life isn't the way that it needs to be, God's the only one that's got the answer. He's the one that's got the counsel. He's got the wisdom. He's got the advice that can make your life really what you would like to have, but you're wanting to get it in the wrong way, down the wrong path. And the only person you're hurting is yourself, according to Proverbs 8 and in verse 36. But I'm going to leave you with that. There's your dose of God's Word today. I really hope it will do you some good. I hope it will really get your wheels a turning and get you thinking that the life that you may be living, if it's all uphill and you keep sliding back down it, the answer is simple. The answer is simple. Start loving yourself and seeking after God. And if we can help you with that, we'd love to be able to have some time with you. Let us know through this video. But nonetheless, there it is. There's your dose of God's Word. And Lord willing, we'll get back tomorrow to get another dose of God's Word and get our day kicked off and going in the right direction. We'll see you then. And until then, y'all have a great day.